I'm live. If you happen to be wandering around the internet looking at guitar-ish style videos, give me 1 or 2 minutes. You may want to go ahead and fast forward. I'm going to go post this on our website, the link to this. The website we are using is called denverguitarorchestra.com, and you can go there and you can get sheet music for over 100 songs, and you can follow along with me as I teach how to play fingerstyle guitar. It is a teachable skill. You don't need to be anybody famous or fancy, or you don't have to have a great guitar. You don't have to have any of that stuff. You just have to have the willing to show up here, learn the basic skills, and then, of course, to practice a little bit. And that's the hard part. Well, that's not the hard part. That's actually the fun part. The hard part is showing up to get better by playing with other people. So that's what we'll be working on today. This is class. All right, so now it's posted and working. So I can close that. And this is stuff I'm working on for something else. And we're, oh, Elizabeth, sound is crackling a little bit. Sound is crackling a little bit. Let me put this down a little closer to my face. See if that helps. They are doing a bunch of work on the internet here in the building, and I am hoping that is not going to become an issue. Let me know if it's getting any better, and by if you say a little bit, is that a little bit or is that a lot? I want to make sure. Let me give you a little bit of guitar sound. That's the sound you'll be dealing with. Just need to make sure that you can live with that. Okay. So today we'll get some feedback. If anybody else, and if any of you other guys hanging out up here in the widget are hearing a bunch of crackling, please let me know. And hi, Elizabeth, how are you? Sound was good in my previous class, and I didn't change any of the settings. I just restarted this one. The only other time that this runs into a problem is if I somehow end up with two. It's background sound. Guitar is good, voice is good. Background sound. There is, yeah, like I say, they're doing some work around here in the building. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's related to the internet because they're running wires all over everywhere. So I'm not, hopefully I don't have a second stream running. Once in a while, I'll get caught in my own channel with more than one stream running at the same time. Let me run into the studio and make sure we don't have that going on. Looks like I'm clean. Yep, so everything looks fine from the YouTube perspective. So we're going to go with what we got, Elizabeth. Hopefully that the crackle is not too terrible. And I've got pretty good microphone. I got one crummy microphone and one okay microphone. And they have a tendency to pick up background noise quite a bit. All right, so my name's Gary. I am a guitar teacher in Denver, Colorado, and I run a little thing called the Denver Guitar Orchestra, and it is built off of a program where we use tablature as if it is the 17th century and create sheet music based on popular tunes from really 1850, no, even earlier than that, up to modern times, and we put them into a thing called tablature, which is where we learn to fingerpick. And so what I want to do today is lesson 1 of level 1, and I teach this class all of the time. I think it is one of those things where we have this tendency, if we decide, yep, I'm going to go play guitar, we get our guitar out, and then we go get a book of way too complicated songs for our skill set. We try, and then we don't do very well, and then we quit. And then we put that guitar under the bed, and it's there 20 years later. And so what we want to do is try to approach this in a little bit more straightforward fashion. I want to teach you some really basic stuff, some really stuff, not the stuff you want to play, but once you can do this stuff, you can play anything. And so let's get the basic tools box figured out in place. First of all, your guitar, chances are your guitar is too big for you. Most guitars are, and you should be playing a slightly smaller guitar, probably, but not necessarily, unless you're a huge dude. Most people are playing guitars that are way too big for them, but it's your guitar. That's the guitar you have in your hand right now, and that's the guitar I want you to use until you decide you're tired of fighting it, and then you start looking around for a little bit easier guitar to hold and carry on, and so on. Second thing is, how do you hold the guitar? How I'm holding it right now is probably ideal. Okay, I'm a member of the Guitar Foundation of America. It's a academic group out there that talks about classical guitar, and they have 10 commandments, and 5 of them are about posture and how to hold the guitar. So it tells you that's pretty darn important. Pele, getting a lot of scratchy noises. Is it my computer or yours? It probably must be my computer. Elizabeth said she was getting some scratchy noises too. Let me just double check. Both of my microphones are working fine. I have good internet connectivity. I changed nothing from the previous broadcast, Pele. Don't know what to tell you about the sound. We're going to go with what we got. If it's driving you nuts, just go ahead and disconnect. I mean, I don't know what to do about it because I just double checked the YouTube side of things, and there's nothing going on there. The only thing I can think of is right now, the fan on my computer is running, and it is possible that some of these microphones are picking up that fan, and it usually turns off, after a minute or two. Well, I guess we'll find out today if it's going to do that. Yeah, and like I say, Pele, if the scratchy noise is too bad, just eject. You know the stuff where I'm about to talk about. All right. So you're holding your guitar. Well, a lot of times when you buy a guitar and you see people playing, they're playing it sideways like this, and that is not ideal. That is not the way you want to play guitar. You'll see lots and lots of very successful guitarists doing it. They're making their lives harder for no reason whatsoever other than that's how they're doing it. You should be thinking, I want this to be as easy as possible, in which case you want this guitar at a pretty steep angle. If you decided to come up here to Red Rocks, which is near my old house, and play music for a crowd of 10,000, you would be standing on stage, you would be standing in front of a microphone, you would have a strap on your guitar, and your guitar would be hanging off your body in this position. It would not be hanging off your body horizontally. This is how you would be playing it. So that makes sense to be practicing it at home, holding it at this angle, right? Just that's what makes sense. So while it's weird to put the guitar between your legs, the first 5 times you do it, you'll be like, this seems really wrong. And then after that, you won't ever think about it again. So get your guitar into the proper position. That's, I would say, 50% of the battle in playing guitar is just getting comfortable holding the darn thing. Second thing, this hand is, if I look over here, my eyeball is basically straight across to the 3rd fret. That's where I want it to be. My hand is going to be in a very neutral position here. If I drop it, it's going to drop straight down. Okay, that's what we want. You'll notice when I play, sometimes I get a little chicken wingy. I get a little bent wrist here a little bit. Don't want any of that. We like a nice straight wrist. This is very relaxed. That's what we want. And then notice the shoulder is very soft and a regular distance up and down. We don't want this going on. We don't want this going on. None of that. One of these weird things we have a tendency to do when we're stressed out. Okay, keep everything nice and soft and supple. Okay, right arm just comes around like this, and you're going to be playing like this. In fingerstyle, we don't use a pick. We just use these 4 fingers. And we want to be able to pluck more than 1 string at a time. And so we want this just, again, notice nice straight wrist, nothing fancy going on other than, and by holding the guitar correctly, my hand doesn't need to do this. If I'm playing horizontally, now my hand has to do this, and this other hand has to get a huge crook on it, and my thumb ends up sticking out, and all this, and my fingers end up cramped. Nothing positive is going to happen from this. I can still probably play guitar, but not in a good way. Okay, so what we want to do is get it just by changing that one thing, just getting this guitar in proper posture. Everything else gets solved. Okay, and so there's that. That's how you hold the guitar. You hold it however you want to. I'm telling you, if you're not doing this system, you're making your life harder. Second thing is when we tune the guitar, and this is probably first thing to be honest, we want to make sure it's Eddie 8 Dynamite Good by Eddie. Eddge. And if you're playing at home by yourself, it does not have to be dead on exact. But why not? Why not? What I recommend to everybody, they get a digital tuner. You can use your phone. If you download a tuner onto your phone, they're not near as accurate and they're a lot harder to use. I have an old school one of these with the green light and the square body and all that. That's not what you want. Just go to Amazon, type in Snark, find the most expensive one you can. It's about $18, and that's the one you want to own. It's the All Instrument Chromatic Tuner. I think it's ST8 or SN8. Right now, that's the best one. I've used lots and lots of tuners, and that's by far the best one. That's the one you want to own. You clip it on the end, turn it on. Don't push any of the other weird buttons that might be on your tuner, and it's not going to help. And then just double check. If I click this, nice and neat. Okay, if it needs to go up or down, I use my tuning peg to make it go up or down. Be careful, you're going to snap a string if you're trying to tune one string and twisting the other knob. That happens a lot. Yeah, replace a lot of strings with people who did that. Next one's an A. Next one's a D. Next one's a G. I'm a little high, so I'm going to drop it down, and then I'm going to pull it back up. So I like to tune up to the note rather than down to the note, because if I'm tightening the string, it's less likely to become loose as I play. There's a B, pretty much dead on. And there's my E, again, pretty much dead on. Should you have perfect pitch, you don't need to do that, but no, I have never met anybody really who has perfect pitch. I got people who are pretty good at that just by listening, but not perfect. And you might as well use the machinery we have available now. There's nobody going to arrest you for being using a tuner. They'll thank you for the most part. Okay, once you are in tune, it's time for us to start playing music. You're going to hold the guitar properly. You're going to tune the guitar properly, and it's time for us to play a song. The song today is Brother John. If you've been to if you don't have the sheet music, you can open that up in a separate window here, or you can print it out. Brother John, and it's at denverguitarorchestra.com. That's the website that I put together for the orchestra that I conduct here in Denver. But mostly the purpose of that website is to get you playing guitar wherever you are at a higher level than you do now. Two basic facts of fingerstyle is one, we don't use capos and we don't use picks. We don't need to. We're going to actually learn how to play the guitar. If you are a singer and you prefer singing, yeah, then you can use a capo, use a pick. The melody is going to come out of your face. You're going to be fine. Most of the people who hang out with me or come around these parts are not singers. They are not interested in playing guitar that way. They want to play it as this being the instrument. And so this is the system we use. And this system's been around since the late 15th century and really became a thing in the really probably more 15th century, became a real thing in the 16th century, and then by the 17th century lute players were all over the place doing exactly this program. And so that's where the tablature stuff comes in. First day in guitar, if you take my class here in Denver, the first day we're going to do two things. We're going to do four things. We're going to learn to hold the guitar, which you just did. We're going to learn to tune the guitar, which you just did. We're going to learn how to read melody, and we're going to learn how to play one chord. Okay? If you go into other guitar classes, they're going to teach you three chords the first day, and then that's it. That's all they're going to do is you're going to spend the rest of the time in the class fighting those three chords. That's not true. But it's a slight exaggeration, but not that much of an exaggeration. We have to learn how to get melody out of this because I'm not going to ask you to sing. And we're going to get only one chord out of this because we got 4 weeks in my class here locally. You guys have 4 days on the internet to get these 4 chords together. So we'll talk about those before we wrap up today. The main thing I want to do is talk about how we number the strings, and we want this to be string number 1, but this is string number 6. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The important part is I want you to memorize which is string number 1. That's going to be a big deal. We're going to play this string most of the time in fingerstyle guitar. That's the important string. String number 1. Frets make more sense. Fret number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. You'll have 18 or 19 or 27, who knows, different number of frets. What all guitars do, they'll either have fret number 12 here or fret number 14 here, right where the body is at. So it's either 12 or 14 to the body, and it will depend on how far down the bridge is from the actual, the distance from the nut to the bridge here is what they determine where the 12th and 14th fret are. Now, we want to, for the song we're going to play today, we're going to play everything almost on string 1. Okay? I want you just to use this thumb. Clunk, 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 clunk. We're not going to strum all of them. We're just going to play one string at a time. 1, 2, 3. If you would prefer, and this will come in the road later, we'll use the index finger. You can do alternating, index, middle, index, middle, index, middle. But if you're new, probably thumb down is going to sound the prettiest. Okay? So the first thing, if you look at your sheet music and you look at the guitar melody line, it says 0240, 0240, 457, 457, 787, 540, 787, 540, 000, 000, 000. That's what your sheet music says on the guitar melody line. What we want to use that line for is to help us know which fret to hold down and which string to pluck. Okay, so you'll notice on your tablature that 0240 is on the top line. Unfortunately, tablature is written upside down. It's not unfortunate. It's actually really cool once you learn to read it. That top line on the paper is your bottom string on your guitar. So when it says 0240, we're not going to play this string 0240. We're going to play this string 0240. Open, second fret, fourth fret, open. Okay, and those of you guys have been playing a while, this is the stuff that you're going to share with somebody else on guitar probably. So having this song dead on memorized and know how to teach this first song, as you know, everything that you're doing here shows up in every single song in the future. So getting a good handle on this is really important. Next item on here is, hey, I want to figure out which fingers to use down here. Gary told me just to use my thumb, so that's what I'm going to do over here. Over here, I'm going to do index finger for 1, middle finger for 2, ring finger for 3, pinky finger for 4. So for the first 2 measures, I got 0240, so I'm going to go 0, 2, 4, 0. Another way to think of it is open, middle, pinky, open, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the truth is it doesn't matter that much which fingers you use as long as you're using different fingers. You don't want to just use one, because you can cut your finger open and we don't want that yet. Okay? Maybe ever. 1, 2, 3. Open, middle, pinky, open, open, middle, pinky, open, open, middle, pinky, open, 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0. When I'm teaching here with real students sitting in front of me in the same room, we usually go through that about 25 times, right? A whole bunch. That's your first 2 measures, 0240, 0240. Okay? Now let's go to measure 3. The numbers are 4, 5, and 7. Now we're out of fingers here after 4, so we need to slide everybody up. So let's put an index finger on 4, middle finger on 5, pinky finger on 7. Let's do that. 4, 5, 7, index, middle, pinky, index, middle, pinky, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, index, middle, pinky, index, middle, pinky. And notice I'm not pulling these guys up. I'm just adding additional fingers on in front because this guy is covering up this guy and this guy is covering up this guy. So I don't need to pull these guys up. 4, 5, 7. Okay, so that's measures 3 and 4. They're both the same. Next section is going to be 7, 9, 7. I'd say start with your ring finger, and I even wrote that on your sheet music. Ring, pinky, ring, middle, index, open. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, open. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, open. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, open, and so on. And again, in class, we would do that part a whole bunch. Okay? If you are thinking about teaching somebody else, you do not worry about the rhythm of this section. As you know, it's supposed to be. That's not what we're working on in the beginning. We're just working on fingering. Doesn't matter what the rhythm's supposed to be. It matters where your fingers are supposed to be so we can get the right note out. Okay? And then in measure 7 and 8, we get to do something very exciting. It's called using the second string. You'll see 0 on the first string, 0 on the second string, 0 on the first string. First string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string. Beautiful. Let's go through and play the whole song. We'll go real slow from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open, 2, 4. Open, measure 2. Open, 2, 4. Open, slide up. 4, 5, 7. 4, 5, 7. Ring finger on 7. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4. Open. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4. Open. First string, second string, first string. First string, second string, first string. And now your sheet music says at the measure 8, there's more stuff that happens after that, right? There's another first string, second string, first string. But at the end of measure 8, that's a repeat. So you don't just jump over and play 9 and 10. You actually go back to the top of the paper and play it a second time. Okay, and so we'll talk a lot about first and second repeats for the rest of your life as a musician, but today just know where you go to measure 8, hit the end, go back up. Okay, from the top, let's play it one more time. And don't worry about rhythm yet. Okay, that's going to be your homework. From the top, 1, 2, ready, play. 0, middle, pinky, 0, 0. Middle, pinky, 0, index, middle, pinky, ring, pinky, ring, middle, index, open, ring, pinky, ring, middle, index, open, first string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string. Okay. Playing a song called Father John. It's just an old school one chord song, and it's just got a sense of we got to get the bell ringing. We got to get those last 6 notes actually. 1, 1, 1. Want to get those clean and pretty so that we're getting Father John up out of bed. First string, second string, first string. It's supposed to be the bells ringing in the tower, right? Help get Father John out of bed. Let's play it one last time. We're going to play it in proper rhythm. So at home, your job is to get 5 and 6 to be twice as fast. They're supposed to be, it measures 5 and 6. So we'll play at the correct tempo this time so you got a sense of what to work on. From the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. Real fast here. Let the guitar ring. If you're playing it at home, your goal is to get the first 4 notes in 5 and the first 4 notes in 6 to be much faster. Bum 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 bum. The key with playing faster is playing the rest of it slower, right? So don't be in a rush on the other parts of the song so that you can rush through that little section there and sound good. Okay, next thing on this piece of paper that you need to know about is the chord. Okay, and here's how you make an E chord. If we're in class, we probably spend about 5 minutes just getting everybody with the right chord on. In YouTube land, we just show you and then hope for the best. Index finger is going to go string 1, string 2, string 3, first fret, and we want that to be just behind the fret wire. Middle finger is going to go on the 5th string in the 2nd fret, and ring finger is going to go on the same fret but on the 4th string. Okay, so that's what we got going on. Okay, as much as I can. That's E chord. That's probably the most important chord in guitar, probably. Right? And then we'll strum all 6. If you're with a lot of guitar teachers that teach either that teach folk style, they're going to give you a pick, and it's going to be much louder. Okay, we don't need to be loud. That's what amplifiers are for. We want us to be beautiful. All right, here we go from the top. I'm going to sing this time. Your job is to give me 4 beats for a measure. When we're strumming this, you keep the beats, 4 in every measure, no matter what's going on in the melody. If I have a long note that I need to sing, you keep strumming, okay? Keep it steady. 1, 2, 3, 4. Frere Jacques, dormez-vous. Keep strumming. Dormez-vous. Sonne les matines, sonne les matines. Ding, ding, dong. Ding, ding, dong. Okay? And then for those of you guys that are next level players, you're thinking, hey, I might be teaching this someday. Notice I'm just keeping it simple and steady and clean through this whole thing. If you decide, hey, this student or these students are really killing it, now's the time to start talking about doing this type of pattern. Have them grab any 4 strings, right? On E, you grab any 4 strings and it sounds fine. Grab any 4 strings, and from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. Where you sleeping? Are you sleeping, Brother John? Brother John. Morning bells are ringing, morning bells are ringing, ding, dang, dong, ding, dang, dong. Okay. And that's what we're working on there. This is, I do usually introduce the claw on night 1, usually, okay, because I want everybody to get where they're starting to do this, instead of with the pick down, whatever, but to really start be thinking about how fingerstyle guitar players play, and that's with the claw. Okay, that's it for first night. Okay, homework is always, can you make an E chord? Take it off, put it on. Take it off, put it on. Take it off, put it on. That's important, okay? Second thing, can you play the melody? I tried to play it too fast, and you notice my tonality went down. It's like, oh, that's not sound that great. I'm playing it too fast. Play it slow, play it at the speed that you have to make it sound absolutely beautiful. Okay? E chord, playing melody, reading tablature, holding your guitar, tuning your guitar. That's a lot for night one. That's a lot for the first 30 minutes in guitar. And hopefully you walk out of this lesson, or you walk out of the first lesson in class, or the first lesson you've taught. Those 4 things are really, really important. Okay, if they walk out with just that, I do not ever in class get Frere Jacques up to full speed. I just tell them, hey, measures of 5 and 6 are supposed to be twice as fast. You need to work on that. Then they have the whole week to work on it. They come back. Some people have been successful because they practiced, and some people will not be successful because they don't practice. So they figure out pretty quickly who they are. My failure rate in guitar is much higher than it is in ukulele, because in ukulele, if you don't practice, you can still kind of make it sound okay. But in guitar, you don't get away with that. And so if you want to be a guitar player, there's this crazy thing called practice, then you probably have to do it. On the paper here, the 2 major musical, well, there's a number of major musical points here, but the getting that E chord correct is super important. Reading the tablature, it's upside down. Students fight that. And so getting that correct is super important. Holding and tuning the guitar, a whole level different than of importance, okay? And then the last thing on this piece of paper, well, the last 2 things. One, I introduced the repeat, and we talk about this. I can't see you face to face, so I'm not 100% sure whether the first and second repeat make any sense to you. But when we come down the first time, we play into measure 8 and we hit the repeat and go back to the top. The second time we come down, we're playing through. When we get to measure 8, we don't play measure 8 because it's part of the first repeat. We skip measure 8 and we play measures 9 and 10. That's a pretty important musical concept that a lot of new players, they just can't read sheet music, and it really can befuddle them. I have one player who's been with me for a few years and still fighting first and second repeats. So know that that's an important musical concept that we want to get through to students. The other thing that we want to get through is that there's this line called tough acts, and that's the fingerstyle line. I do not expect level 1 players to play it. I play it for them. Okay, so if you are a new player, no, tough acts isn't for you yet. It's just not. It's not. You're not. You don't need to do that yet. If you're a teacher, you do need to know how to do it in order to share it with your students. So I'm going to play it really quick. Your job is just to be noticing what I'm doing. Okay, that's what I tell my students. Okay, everything on this is on the first 3 strings, so I'm probably going to use index, middle, and ring as my tools. Okay, what I've got written on the paper is this. Oh, on the wrong frets. Let me start again. I was like, what in the heck is that horrible sound? Here's what's really on the paper. And then it's supposed to repeat. You play it through the second time. The last time you come through, you don't play measure 8, but you do play 7, 9, and 10. So if I start at measure 7, what I would come up with is probably more to the point. Nice big gentle rolling E chord to wrap it up. So the big things with day one, level one, lesson one, just getting out of this box is, can I hold the guitar? Can I tune the guitar? And that's it. Elizabeth is telling me the sound is deteriorating. I don't feel like I have any control over that. I apologize for the scratchiness. I'm going to probably yank the plug on this, and tomorrow we'll try again. Tomorrow for Denver Guitar Orchestra, let me run over and pull that up real quick so I can let you know how the YouTube broadcasts are working. Is I am giving you one song a week at whatever level you're at. So level one, Brother John, we're starting this. This is, you can go to the website, download every single song for level one, and start practicing those. And we do one song a week. It's the single biggest thing that guitar players mess up is they try to do 50 songs all at once. Okay, pick one song and really work on it. Tomorrow, tonight we have Girl from Ipanema. That's a level 4 group one song concert. That's tonight at 8 o'clock Mountain Time. And then tomorrow we're going to play through all 4 of the songs from the week. Brahms Lullaby, Clementine, Brother John. We'll play through Girl from Ipanema one last time tomorrow. And then we will also be getting a new song tomorrow. And what is the new song? It's going to be Hotel California. So we've got that just about done. Hopefully tonight I'll be able to wrap it up and get it cleaned up where it's real playable. And so that'll be our level 4 song for next week. And so you'll probably be getting that hopefully tomorrow and maybe tonight. And that's what we're doing. So if you're brand new to fingerstyle guitar, if you're brand new to instrumental guitar, if you're sick of singing, you're in the right place. And we'll just step you through all of this all the way. So Hotel California, yikes. It's not as hard. It just goes on and on and on and on. And you're just like, come on, Glenn, enough is enough. It's, it just lasts forever. So we're probably gonna cut some verses out of it. I'm gonna have to be called up on charges against the guitar police for not taking that song very seriously. But yeah, the melody's fine for the first 2 times. The next 4 times it seems a little excessive. So so that's what we're working on level 4. Level 1, your homework basically for the week is master Brother John. Get where that melody comes out, make sure that the E chord goes on there, that you could sing it or at least hum it, and then don't mess with tough uke at this level, tough axe at this level. That's not for you yet. Okay, this level where we're all about learning to get a melody out of the guitar, learning to get our 4 most important chords in place, getting where we can comfortably hold this guitar, and getting where we can tune it without a whole lot of drama and nonsense. Here in Denver, when I teach this class, what happens is that first day, everybody shows up, their guitar is covered with dust, and its strings are 20 years old. And so we spend that first time talking a lot about how to get a better guitar, how to take your current guitar and make it play better, and then how to get a guitar that's actually fit for the correct size for your body. When you go to Guitar Center, there's a 20-year-old kid there, and he's going to tell you to buy the big one because there's actually profit in that one, and it sounds the best. But for 90% of people, the big one is not the correct guitar. And so they end up with this big monstrosity they're trying to fight. So let's see. Blame Don Henley. Henley. Was it Henley or Glenn Fry? I don't know why I have Glenn Fry in my head. Whoever wrote it wrote too many verses to it. So, all right, kids. Thank you for joining me. I hope that this is at least helpful, give you some reason to pick up a guitar and keep moving forward. And hopefully just always, I think for an hour a day, you stop in here and you play guitar, whether it's above your ability or below your ability, doesn't really matter. You're going to pick up something to try to make you a stronger, better, more technical player. And what we teach here leads naturally into classical guitar and jazz guitar. What we teach here will vastly exceed what most of the time they teach in folk guitar. And if you're into rock guitar, I don't know. I don't really understand where that goes. I mean, it doesn't. It's just that's its own thing, and so uh, you really have to have the proper equipment and the willingness to learn riffs for no reason other than to support a singer. And it's not a singer. I'm not sure why you're in that in the first place. There are a handful of rock guitars that are amazing, but mostly it's not going to be you, probably. So this is an excellent way for grown-ups to play, right? You get a beautiful melody, you get some nice chords, put them all together, turn it into something really technical and really fun, and hopefully it'll make you want to sit down with the guitar. All right, let's see. Arlo, are you going to do the dueling guitar section made famous by Joe Walsh and Don Felder? Arlo, I can pretty much assure you that no traditions associated with Hotel California will be honored. So I'm taking the melody, I'm taking the chords, I am typing up a tough uke line for it, and I'm stopping there. So if you have it memorized, or by the way, for those of you just tuning in, Arlo is a lifelong guitarist. Arlo can play his way. He can play circles around me. Way better player than I will ever be. But he shows up because this is a little different system that I use than he's used to using, and maybe he's going to get something to make him even better. Who knows? I'll probably make him dumber, but no, we won't be doing anything super fancy from some of these other historic moments in Hotel California. Melody, chords, smash them together. You'll have a nice song. Let's see, Elizabeth. Both. Thanks always. Love this session. It's a little peaceful, right? We don't have a ton of people that show up, but those of you guys that show up, hopefully I do making some sense. I really like right. Pele got a Requinto, which is almost, not quite, but almost a half-size guitar, and now she has a guitar that you can hold and it's fun to play, makes it sound beautiful. No, does it have the big sound of a dreadnought guitar? Heck no, it's not gonna outplay a dreadnought. But honestly, you, every single orchestral instrument, trumpet, tuba, violin, cello, all of those will outplay a guitar every day of the week. So getting a big guitar isn't going to help you at all. That's what amplifiers are for. That's what microphones are for. Guitar is a very quiet instrument, so getting a giant one to be loud doesn't make any sense. If you're going to be in a bluegrass band, you do have to have the dreadnought. Outside of that, you should probably have a guitar that fits your body. So yeah, I'm really glad, Pele, that you're loving that guitar. Yeah, it's a little bigger than a half-size guitar, but it's pretty small and it sounds amazing and it's wonderful. So it's very smart. Let's see, Greg, how are you doing today, Greg? Didn't know you were here. 20-inch scale, so my shoulder can handle more than 10. Yeah, that's the other thing. Great big guitars are going to wear your body out. If you're a young man, you probably don't notice because you're not that smart. But as you get older, you're like, geez, I don't need to be beating myself up over making music. And getting this little guitar that I found, that's a friend of mine found it in her bedroom. This is not a big guitar, but it's 3.78 size, very pleasant to play, easy to play. And I'll play it all day long and not quite sound quite as great as I would if I had a much more expensive, much heavier, much nicer, much bigger guitar. Yeah, those sound better, but they're no fun to play in my mind, so I quit sooner. Yeah, it's a great point, Greg. Absolutely. Isn't it tuned to A or A? Too many face, I know. Hold your guitar, wipe out. Smaller guitars you can tune up if you're only going to play by yourself. I have a guitar called a papoose. It's the size of a baritone ukulele. It's a little tiny thing with metal string. And you can tune it up as high as a ukulele. You can tune it up to G if you want. But I think I usually tune that up. I think I usually have about A to A, sometimes B flat to B flat, just depending on my mood and whatever. But yeah, so smaller guitars, you can tune them up. You don't necessarily have to, but you can, and they sometimes sound better. If you're going to be playing with other people, then you got to be tuned to what they're tuned, or you got to be a really smart, probably college-educated musician in order to do the transposition instantaneously at the moment, and probably not us, right? Yeah, exactly. That the papoose is as if I'm putting a cable on the 5th fret of a standard tuned guitar. And again, that's why you don't use a capo, man. Why not just to adjust your guitar to be what you want it to be, or learn to play as if you have a capo, but use this as your capo. And you'll notice on YouTube, a lot of the fingerstyle players will use a capo because they're trying to get it into the original key that you're likely to have heard it in the past. I think that's ridiculous. I think play it in whatever key you want to play it in. You don't need to worry about what the original is. You're very unlikely to be writing a check to the original composer to do an arrangement and a YouTube recording of that song, and so you don't really owe them any sort of allegiance. You want the song to just be as easy and as fun to play as you can get it, and so I'm really pretty passionate about being against capos unless you are a singer. And if you are a singer, then heck yeah, you better have a capo, and you're going to probably leave it in one position on that fretboard most of the time, and you're going to learn your basic 6 chords, and then that's it. You're going to be focused in on singing, and your guitar is backing up your voice, and that's really the purpose of folk music, honestly, is how they play that way. So it's not for us. Not for us. We're about finger picking. We're about playing one note at a time and then 4 notes at a time, and by doing the complicated work of really learning how to do our bar chords properly. That's what we're about. So, all right, Paley, have a wonderful time. I will see you tonight at 8. If you are in for Girlfriend, I'll be at 8 o'clock tonight. I can't play that song either, so I gotta go work on it. And I will see some of you tomorrow. Thank you all for being here. Had a nice crowd today. I will see you hopefully tomorrow, either tonight or tomorrow, depending on who you are. And stay safe, stay out of, don't go to the restaurants, it's not safe. I'll talk to you later. Bye.